Love, light, and blessings. Shamanic Awak Priestess here. I know I have not recorded for so long. This video I wanted to make before the end of the year because I always love hearing about people's top 10, least favorite, mass market. I always love those tags that have to do with your top or favorite or whatever type of decks, oracles, things like that. I was very intrigued to do this tag, and again, I wanted to do it before the end of the year, but between working and taking well, it wasn't a week and a half off for personal reasons. I was attending to my mom who, she had some medical stuff going on. I'm not going to really get into too much into that, but I had to go to New York and take care of a family emergency pertaining to my mom and health. She is recovering nicely and doing much better. I also had some work done on my mouth. So I had oral surgery and I was recovering and recuperating from that. Is one of the reasons why you're not going to see my face. I have been doing audio only readings. And then yesterday I finally started doing like my camera being back on Skype, but wearing, makeup to cover up the site of the procedure. Just because I was finding that it distracted from the reading. People were concerned, like, are you okay? Are you in pain? No, I'm not in pain, but I don't want to deflect or distract from the reading. So I just, put makeup on and kind of hide it or disguise it. So that's what I've been doing. But anyways, the tag that I want to do is was created by Peekaboo Rose. And it's called the Standout Decks of 2022. The Standout Decks of 2022. And basically, that just means tarot and oracle decks she was doing, like what you recently purchased in the year 2022. And out of all those purchases, which was the ones that stood out from the crowd. Okay, so just a disclaimer. I'm not going to be doing my top 11 or anything like that. These are not the decks necessarily that are my all-time favorite, that I use the most in some cases or anything like that. These are the decks that when I was purchasing decks in 2022, these decks made the most impact, stood out, and things like that. So, and then I'm going to do kind of my own thing where I'm going to mention two of my least favorite purchases of 2022 when it comes to decks. This tag for me is going to include both tarot and also include oracle decks and decks in between. And again, I have 11 and then 2 honorable mentions. I will be making videos on more serious topics in 2023. I just thought that I would do this fun tag, kind of just get started again in recording. It's been almost a month since I've made any type of content on my channel, so I kind of just wanted to get back into it. I have a lot of really fun, but also deep dive and very, very topics that I'm very passionate about. And things like that. So I'm really excited about this year as far as where I want my channel to go and the content that I'm going to be making this year. Also, I want to really quickly thank everybody that purchased La Madama classes and also the Hoodoo classes. They have been permanently retired. So I'm really excited to start on this new journey this year where I'm going to be making new classes. Okay, I have yet to create these classes, so when I finish writing them out and creating the video series they're going to go with these classes, I will be announcing them for sale and things like that. So stay tuned if you're looking for classes such as Espiritismo 3.0. So getting more deeper into the practice of Espiritismo, not so much the just beginners, but more of an intermediate. So someone who's been doing it and things like that. So kind of going deeper into that practice. And then also the Hoodoo Part 2 class, which is going to be more deep dive, more complex part and aspects of Hoodoo and Conjure. So these are the types of classes that I'm going to be making in 2023. So stay tuned for that. Also, if you want to become a member, I have various series, such as the Angel series, book reviews. We do energetic forecast readings on there. We do monthly checkups, one card of day. We have series like Quirking with Crystals, journaling series, a new one, self-help, self-love. We have the origin stories according to the Ifa traditions of the Orishas. Just so many. There's like 16 different ongoing series going on there. So if you're into like learning about spirituality, herbalism, things like that, wanting to take your spiritual practice into the next level, this is the feature for you, because you can study at your own pace and things of that nature. And I also talk about controversial topics and vlogs. Today, we're going to be meeting up at the witches level because it is a Leguas feast day, and they're going to be able to partake in that. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, just click the join button at the description box of every one of my videos, and you can go into the 3 tiers. They explain the benefits of membership more exclusively, and you can pick the price point and the level that you feel like resonates or will work better for you. Okay, thank you. And also, if you want a one-on-one reading with me, shamanicarrowpriestess.com, shamanicarrowpriestess.com. Okay, now let's get into the tag. So the standout decks of 2022, the first one that I'm going to mention is actually called, okay, el tarot de Yamaya. So as you can see, is in Spanish, un medio de comunicación con la religión afro-cubana. So Afro-Cuban religion. So this deck is specific to a tradition and a culture. So it's Afro-Caribbean or Afro-Cuban spirituality. There's espiritismo in here, some correspondence to that. And also they do have some aspects of like Santeria as well. This deck is completely in Spanish. Even though it's called a tarot de Yamaya, it's actually not a tarot, but it's actually more of an oracle, and it has its own system. There's a certain way that you read this deck. The guidebook is very good to me. It kind of gets to the point, the roots and bones of things. So it's not one of those like oracle decks that it's going to take 20 years to go through everything. It kind of just gets to the point. So I love that. But if you're not fluent in Spanish, very hard deck to use. And again, I feel like it's more of one of those decks that like only pertains, like it's not going to resonate with you if you don't practice espiritismo, if you're not fluent in Spanish, if you don't practice some form of Santeria or something like that. Okay, so this is the back of the deck. And this deck it's not about the artwork, right? It's not about the artwork. It's about like what it brings. This is like going to your local espiritista or going to your local like babalao who practices Santeria, or going to a Santera and getting a reading that specifically has to do with your spiritual condition. Okay, and you have messages from different guides here. You have upright meanings. So the upright for this one is Onrula, and it says conoce la religión Yoruba. Okay, and then in the if the card is upside down, you have the interpretation which says necesita recibir santo consulta al santero. Okay, so this is not a deck that you specifically ask questions. It's more of kind of more channeling. You can get a lot out of it if you practice these paths. Like there's so much more than the blurb there. It's saying like learning about the Yoruba religion and the upright position. And then in the if it's reversed, it's you need to receive some kind of holy consultation from a initiated santero. Okay, so your babalao, your santera, so on and so forth, from like a spiritual, in English you would say like a high priest or priestess. Okay, someone who is kind of like knows about the religion and can consult you because your situation is very complex. Okay, and they have different like Orisha. So this one's Obatala. You have, God here. You have Ochun, like just different things. You have Elegua, Happy Feast Day Elegua, and like their messages. Um, and again, it's a system. So you divide this deck in different piles. And there's just like this deck is very like you need the guidebook. You need to be very versed in Spanish in order to get something from it. But if you are someone of any type of Afro, Latino descent, fluent in Spanish, that is drawn to Espiritismo or is drawn to anything like that, I feel like you'll get something out of this deck. It has like only one walkthrough, and it's through an English speaker, and they're very racist in their reviewing of this deck because they are not of the culture and they don't understand what it is. And they're like, oh, it's colonization. It's not. Santeros synchronize the African spirits with saints. And that's done for a reason. I'm not going to get into all of that. It has nothing to do with being a sellout or anything that this person was saying. And then the other review was from someone who's a native Spanish speaker. So it wasn't in English. So if you are going to work with this deck, please be, you're not going to get anything out of it unless you actually practice Espiritismo or a form of Santeria and can actually translate the work if you're a non-English speaker. So again, it's like, I love it. I work with it for personal use. It's not something I use for clients, but I do like to use this deck at least on a weekly basis to check in. It has been a game changer because I don't do a lot of divination for myself. So this deck, El Tarot de Yemaya, I love it. It is mass produced. I got it from Amazon and it's affordable. Okay. Alrighty. The next deck is the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck. I freaking love this deck. Just like El Tarot de Yemaya, I saw it on a Spanish speaking person's channel. I can't remember what channel it was. They were doing like 10 decks I can't live without kind of thing. A VR to Katie Flowers. And this one I saw also in somebody else's channel. I cannot remember. It was one of those like decks that I use the most or something like that. This one again is called the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck. I just got it this year. I've been using it for a lot of channeling sessions, and it's very simple, like very simple, artwork and things like that, nothing too complicated or too complex or anything like of that nature. But I love this deck. It just gives me really powerful messages. I remember when I first used it on a client, because I like to like use decks and then like practice on myself and people that I don't know. And then if the deck speaks to me and gives the messages in a clear manner, then I'll use it for client readings. And this deck literally made the person that I used it for, the client that I used it for, they were crying. It just so resonated with this person. Like they loved it. They understood the messages. Like they cried. They were in tears. It was just beautiful. Like when I read with this deck, I get the most profound messages. I work with the colors of it. And spirits, so entities, deities come through these cards for me personally, and I just find it to be really, really nice for when I'm doing past life readings or energy checkups or anything like that, or spiritual counseling. So I've been using it for my specialized readings. Okay, one of the decks that I use the most are playing cards, and then like the energy oracle or the psychic oracle or something like that. But I've been recently using this one this year. Since I've gotten it, I have not stopped using it. So I completely love this deck, and definitely feels like it's going to be an always type of deck. Okay, I just feel like it's going to be like a constant, if you will, like a deck that I'm going to continue to use throughout the future. This is also a new purchase that I've gotten. I love. I also saw this in one of those top 10 videos. I wish that I would have actually made a playlist because I like to give credit where I find decks from. But this is called The Angels Among Us, and I love this. It has beautiful pink gilding on the side. I have not stopped using this deck since I have gotten it. I love this deck. Like, it is an amazing and wonderful oracle deck that just gives me really, really great readings. And I am so grateful that I have discovered this deck. I also work a lot with colors. So this I use a lot for energy readings or any type of spiritual counseling, spirit guide, anything like that. Even past lives, just anything like that, and things of that nature. Like, I might use this to pretty much sum up a reading, or just be pulled to use this for any type of specialized reading. And I just find that it's so powerful, and things like that. I don't really pay attention to the deities here mentioned. I have a specific deck of playing cards that I do my like spiritual investigative readings or deity based readings. I find these decks don't really work for me. I just get better messages from playing cards. I find these are good for like checking the energies of situations for me, and working through color, chakras, things like that. So I love this deck. Very diverse, very beautiful. And it has actually replaced my out of print Doreen Virtual since the day that I've gotten this deck. And that is the Angels Among Us Oracle deck. This is also a deck that is mass produced, and you can get it, on Amazon Prime, as Amazon, on Amazon and everything of that nature. The next deck that I got, which is a personal use tarot deck that I use for myself. So with the El Tarot de Yamaya, I use it more for my spiritual condition. I do talk to spirits directly, but sometimes, like when I just need affirmation, like a confirmation on something or something like that, I'll go to El Tarot de Yamaya. When I want like a yes or no question answered, again, I mostly read for other people because I do read professionally on a full-time basis, but there are times that I do use divination. And this deck, since I've gotten it, I have been drawn to it, and it is the Pulp Girls Tarot, and I'm completely in love with it. I feel like it is a very feminine, non-binary type of deck, and it is just I love it because to me it gives off that woman loving woman energy, and it has that very nice loving feminine energy to me. I love the artwork. It is just such a beautiful deck. And like I said, I completely love it. It is gorgeous. Okay, it is a gorgeous deck. It's kind of, to me, reminds me of the Martin Witch Tarot, which I did love the artwork in that particular deck. But because of the cardstock, it's an unusable deck for me. It's unshuffleable. I like to shuffle a certain way. So that deck does not, resonate with me. It's not a deck that I'm going to use or anything like that. I love the witchy hats in the king, whatever, the king court cards and things like that. Like, it's just a really great deck. And I feel like, the part of myself that's a woman loving woman, I like to give myself love readings with this. And I don't know, I just love, look at the Two of Cups, look at that. Just beautiful. That's my future wife. So this is just a beautiful deck. I love it so much. And I want to live in this world, guys. I want to live in this world. You do have diversity as far as like different skin tones and looks like different sexual orientations, things like that. Love the Nine of Pentacles here. So plenty of diversity. To me, has the same energy, like I said, as the Martin Witch Tarot. But the card stock, for me, is better because it's on the thinner side. My favorite all-time lovers card there. It just has like I said, thinner card stock, so it's shuffleable. And so it's my personal deck. I specifically bought it for myself. And I love it. I'm really excited. I've been using it since I've gotten it. and I'm really happy that I purchased it. And again, this is Pope the Pope Girls Tarot, the Pope Girls Tarot, and this is another mass-produced deck. Okay, this definitely stood out to me from the first day that I purchased this deck. The next deck that I'm going to talk about is the Relative Tarot. It is gilded. Okay, it has really beautiful gilding. This is the backs I love so much. And this deck, I love using it for past life readings. That's what I've been using it for. I also used it for my my tarot readings, and I loved it for that as well. It gave really good readings. But I find that this deck for me, even if I don't really necessarily need tools for it, I love using it for past life reads, and I love using it for channeling or mediumship messages. I find that when I use this deck, or even for past life, I've used this deck also for with the playing cards, adding this one into it as well for like deities come through in this deck, spirit guides come through in this deck, and past lives come through in this deck for me, as well as ancestral energies. I think it's a gorgeous deck. I love the artwork. I love the way this looks. I love how it kept very much to the Rider-Waite, which is my favorite system. It is just a great deck. It's pretty special for so many reasons. It has multiple lovers cards as well, and it has like a couple of like judgment cards. So there's more than just 78 cards in here. So if you're someone that you know, in certain versions of tarot, like the judgment card would be where the strength is, so it'll be the card 8, and then strength would be 11. So if you want to use it in that way, they have that option for you. They have various lovers here. You see a same sex assigned male at birth. You have same sex assigned female at birth. You also have the binary male and female, or you can even say, you know, things like that. Or you can even say, you know, it could be a transgender woman and a man, or anything like that. Like, you basically have different variations of the lovers card, which I love. So you can kind of use, if you're using it for yourself, you can use whichever lovers card corresponds to the way you see the lovers card. What I like about this deck as well is I use all of the lovers, all the different variations of the lovers card. And the reason why I do that is because I have clients from many different diverse backgrounds. So I do love the inclusivity of that. Look, see, we have the lovers there. And there goes the other lovers. Okay, they kind of just came out by themselves. So yeah, I love this deck. It is a great deck. If you're into Rider-Waite and you're like, I just don't want the, you know, Pixie's artwork or something, like, which I love, by the way. I feel like this deck can resonate with you. If that's your thing. It definitely has stood out. I have connected with it instantly since I purchased it. And again, I have not wanted to stop using it. Like, I love it so much. This deck I also bought. This is a indie deck. The Relative Tarot is actually a mass market deck. This is the Florum Liberum Tarot. The Florum Liberum Tarot, okay? The Florum Liberum Tarot. And this deck, okay, look at the beautiful backs. I bought in 2022, and I freaking love the cardstock. Like, I used the heck out of this deck, and it looks so new. Like, there's barely any type of chipping. Like, there's no chipping here. I wish more decks were made out of this cardstock. It looks thick, but it's very shuffleable. And it is Rider-Waite. But the difference is it has herbs here. Aspen, it has cursive the Fool, and it has your traditional like artwork with herbs. And I tend to be really drawn to this deck in the spring and summer. I think it's just a beauty. She is a beauty. There are different skin tones with the deck. So you do have like different skin tones and things like that. It, like I said, it is a beautiful deck. And I like that it has, you know, some diversity in it. I love how beautiful the plants. You can actually learn, about herbalism and things like that. Look at this beautiful lovers card. And for the lovers, they have the orchid. So like I said, it's a great one. It is a great, great deck. I think like if you are a fan of Rider-Waite, you will definitely get something out of this deck. It's just beautiful. You got the sunflower. I'm gonna try to do, yeah. So like I said, it is a beautiful deck. Even the minors, they're fully illustrated, because I know sometimes they'll have deck with Rider-Waite artwork, but like the court cards aren't illustrated. This one is. And like I said, it has racial diversity, iris, it has plants. So for all you herbalists out there and things like that, it is really great. I got it from Etsy. And again, it's called the Floralum Liberum Tarot, okay, on Etsy. It's reasonably priced when I purchased it. I don't know if the pricing has changed since I purchased it, but yeah. And I got this from Etsy. The next deck that I love, and this is also a workhorse deck, on one of the 6 that I plan to work with exclusively for my professional tarot readings, okay? This deck, which I love, is called Black is Art. And just to let you know, none of these decks are any particular order. They're kind of just in the order that I pulled them out. This is the Mahogany Tarot. This is also an Etsy purchase. So I have to say, the truth. The cardstock is not the greatest. I don't use it as much as the other decks, and it already has, some chipping in it. So if that's a thing for you. But I love the concept of this deck, that it overrides any type of issues that I may have. It is not the cleanest like printing of a deck either. It's kind of like not the most clearest visuals. And I feel like the miners are a little bit lazy with the multiple, I don't even know, triangle things. This is the 4 of Swords. The majors are good and the suit cards are good. Okay, so the minors are kind of more pippish, so that may not be your thing. But all in all, this is a great deck that I have been so happy to have purchased, because there's so many decks that do like these like Renaissance, or these like the golden age of art and beautiful paintings, and it's usually very Eurocentric. With this one, it's Black people, it's melanated people, and I love that, because Black and brown people have existed throughout time, and we're rarely ever recognized through these like highly rich art periods. So I love that it's called Black is Art Tarot, and I love that it has art pieces that feature Black people, despite the pips, in my personal opinion, not being that great. It's a great reader. It has the title cards, so you'll know what suit or what card in the major arcana, and things like that. I do love reading with it. I tend to use it a lot during Black History Month, or very drawn to it in the autumn months, like around Fegede, things like that. I do like using it for memberships readings and personal readings as well. And this is the Black is Art Tarot. Okay. And again, these are the gorgeous backs. I love the backs. And again, I just wanted to be honest about the, cardstock and things like that. It comes in a bag. This does not come in a box. It comes in this bag. And yeah, I got it on Etsy. It was very affordable, and I got it pretty quickly too as well. Because usually when you buy things from Etsy, is with the understanding that it's going to take a while for you to get said deck, because a lot of them are handmade and stuff like that. Okay, the next deck that I want to talk about is the Mahogany deck. The Mahogany deck. And this is a workhorse deck for me. Okay, this is the backs. This deck gets a lot of use out of me. You can tell if you look at the top here. It is one of my most used decks since I've gotten it. And it is a standout. Okay, it is a standout. I bought it this year and she has been used. Okay, she has been used. And this deck is like having the plaid backs because it's the same type of artwork. But what makes it so special is that these are brown people. This deck is so groundbreaking to me, in the sense of the customer service is amazing, the price point is amazing. There was another deck that I bought like this, that just was, it was really beautiful artwork, but the customer service wasn't that great. It took too long to get it, and the cardstock was the worst cardstock I've ever seen. This deck has good cardstock. It's a deck that I can actually use. It is an indie deck, and again, it's called the Mahogany Tarot, so you would buy it from Etsy. This is a great deck for those of us that are brown and melanated who want a more traditional deck with people that look like us. I do use this for client readings, okay? And I love it. You know, it reads well. It keeps with the very traditional imagery of the Rider-Waite-Smith, okay? And I love it. Like, I love this deck so, so much. It is so important to see ourselves in tarot. And as much as, you know, I know people talk about modern decks and all these things, I feel like decks like these are so important because, again, it's about diversity. You know, look at her beautiful afro. Like, it's nice to see ourselves in tarot. And so I feel like this is a really great deck to work with. I use it on clients. I get very clean meanings from it. I can still study the symbology on the traditional tarot, but it's people that are brown. Okay? It's people that are brown and black, and I love it so, so much. Okay? And that's the Mahogany Tarot. Representation matters. Okay? Seeing ourselves in divination, that matters, guys. And so that's the Mahogany Tarot. Okay. Now, in the spirit, okay, of traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery and the importance of diversity, I introduced to you this deck that has gotten not the greatest reviews online, but I love. It has its imperfections. I am not my favorite cardstock. It bows a lot, but it is shuffleable. And it is a working deck for me. And this is the Wiser Tarot. The Wiser Tarot. Also, this deck is mass produced, not like the Mahogany. This deck has brown people in it. And it's kind of like a watercolor, like water paintings. It isn't a perfect, like, it's not perfectly done. There's some of the cards that are a little bit messier than others, but I love it because of the backgrounds. Like, you'll know what suit, like, you'll have greens for certain suits, things like that. And there goes the Empress trying to, so okay, so like this card, this is the air element, this is the swords, right? You see like a beautiful like purple background. I love the color palette of this deck. It is a deck that I'm currently working with at this time. It has skin tone diversity, which I love, you know, and like I said, it's not perfect, but it's such an important deck. This is your wands. You see, like, it looks like fire in the background. So I like how that looks. You know, with the water suit, you're going to have blue, okay? And so I love that about this deck. And I don't know, I just think it's an important deck. I feel like if you're into like the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, you can still get the same symbology, but you're not looking at all white characters or all white people cards. You know, I have actually stopped using my US Games cards that has no diversity in them and have switched to more of these types of remaking of the RWS. So this is going to also be just like the Florum Liberum Tarot. This is also a forever deck, is one of the other decks that I mentioned on the 6 decks that I want to work with for professional readings and stuff for the end of 2022 and continuing on to 2023. So this is the deck that I'm currently doing readings with. in the month of January for client reads. I have 6 working decks that I do readings for clients, the tarot readings and stuff like that. And this is one of them. Okay, so I have used that deck a lot. It has its chipping and bowing. I always have to, like when I'm done for the night, kind of bend it back into its shape. It's a little too flexible for me. But and like I said, it's not perfect. But I love the skin tone variations and diversity that I feel like for me personally, it's worth the purchase. And I love using it for client readings and things like that. I have 2 decks that I bought from Tarot Collectibles this year. And one of them is the Santa's Helper Tarot. Okay. And this one I was using throughout the December Christmas holiday. Love this deck. It is beautiful. It still has, most, like not all, but it has like some traditional, like that that's the Fool, right? If you compare it to the traditional Fool card, the Emperor looks like a form of Santa Claus. I love that. And then you have the Empress, which is Mrs. Claus. I love that. Um, and I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. And this is the deck I was using throughout December. It gave me wonderful client reads. Look at the Moon card, guys. Like, ho, ho, ho. You have your Black Angels. So there is like some skin tone diversity in this deck as well. And I love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. 9 of Cups. Okay. You have Santa Claus. Okay. But yeah, I love this deck. It is beautiful. This is the backs of the deck. This is another deck that I plan to work with exclusively as well for professional readings for clients, but mostly this one I worked with it for the Christmas holiday. So it's mostly for that, like that's after Thanksgiving until Christmas type of deck. Okay, so seasonal. But yes, I loved it. It was so fun to read with it, and I just found it to be a joy to work with that deck. This deck is another Tarot Collectible deck that I got, and I love it, and I'm mentioning it. It's the Winter Weight, okay, and it's by Tarot Collectibles. It's the glitter edition, so it's a limited edition. This one, I'm going to be real honest with you, I bought for the purposes of collecting. I love, love, love Tarot Collectibles. There are decks that I don't really use. I want to have them in my collection, okay? It has, look at this, the glitter. Like, how gorgeous is that? I love it. I bought Santa's Helper to kind of work with it and use it. But this one I literally bought for the intentions of I actually want to have it in my collection. I just think it's so freaking beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I just love it. It's so like fancy. It's fancy, guys. Come on. It's fancy. It's fancy. Look at her. She is so beautiful. Oh, the card is just so beautiful. I love it so, so much. Look at the world card. It says New Year. Look at the New Year, baby. Happy New Year. Literally, Happy New Year, guys. Yeah. I love it. You got the Ace of Cups. Look, come on, marshmallows and hot chocolate. Look at the 3 of Cups. It is fun. Let me show you a couple more cards here. You have your Ace of Wands, very cold looking. Just love it. The glitter just gives it, it's fun. But I don't want to mess up the glitter. So it's, like I said, more of a collector's thing for me, being that it's like limited edition and everything. And this is your swords. Look at the swords, guys. Like, come on. Tell me you do not like that, because I love it. Oh, I love it, guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. It comes with some extra cards as well. So you have the Chariot. Come on. Okay. Your Three of Pentacles. Look at them working together to make a snowman. So this deck is just so Christmassy to me, Christmas season to me. But again, I bought it for collection purposes. This is like the only one I've ever bought from Tarot Collectibles that I'm like, it's going to be for collections. And then I want to mention, before I end this video, my least favorite decks that I purchased in 2022. The Shaman Tarot. This deck does not even feel like a tarot deck to me. I'm not crazy about the artwork. It does nothing for my intuition. I'm going to be honest, I haven't even tried shuffling the cards, because when I purchased this deck, sight unseen, kind of just was an impulsive buy at like a metaphysical shop or whatever. This deck just did nothing for me. It's completely brand new. This is the back. This is a mass-produced Los Garibo. I don't even know what suit this is, because all the suits have been renamed. So this is like the crystal suit. And then you have the drum suit. And it, like, the artwork makes no sense to me. All the minor arcana, major arcanas have different names. The little white book doesn't even tell you, like, okay, so if we're using drums, this will be like the air suit or this suit. It doesn't explain none of that. So it's like, doesn't even have a comprehensive like tarot system. I guess you have bones or skeleton head or something. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think I want to get it. It just, like, I would like my money back, pretty much is how I feel about this, but I can't get my money back because I purchased it and everything. Yeah, like, it just, the only thing that's nice is the back of these cards. The end. When I opened this deck, I was just speechless. I was like, basura, garbage. Yeah, it ain't giving what it gotta give. I don't know. I don't even want to use it. I don't even want to give it to anybody. I don't even want to sell it. It's just yuck. Sorry, not trying to trash anything, but I don't like it. I mean, that sounds mean or whatever, but I don't know. This deck I was excited to get because I wanted to use it for January and winter. Okay. It's the black and gold edition tarot, and this is made by Los Garibo. So it's a mass produce. It was a Christmas present to myself. So she looks beautiful, right? With the gold foiling. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous deck, because it is gorgeous. But this is an unusable deck for me. And let me tell you why. So my oldest needed a reading, and they were like, hey, I need a reading. And I'm like, hey, I got a new deck, so I'll use this deck to practice on you, so on and so forth, to see if, it resonates with me to use it for clients. I'm so glad that I test read everything that I buy. This deck chips. I don't even want to say chip. It turned my fingers black, as if I edged the sides with black, but I did not. So whatever ink or dye they use to make this happen, you're gonna get glitter, like chips of the gold foil. On top of that is gonna discolor your fingers. And that to me is a safety concern because I don't know what chemicals they're using to make these decks. I don't want it in my hands and I don't want it to seep into my bloodstream. So for that reason, this is going to be a collector's deck. It's unusable and I'm not going to use it for anybody because I'm not going to risk my fingers, my health, just for a reading. So this deck is my least favorite because it's unusable. And I feel like you're charging like $40 for a deck that chips, okay, and the foil comes off in literally on your table, so you have little glitter dust, and then you have black dye in your fingers. That's disgusting. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to mess up my oracle cards and stuff like that when I'm doing a reading. So this deck is completely unusable for me. I'm just gonna have it as a collector's item. So very unfortunate, very disappointed. I've noticed that a lot of these mass market decks are losing their quality. Decks that you buy and then a week later they're completely chipped and messed up and look like they're 20 years old. I find that to be inexcusable. So I really hope that if they're watching, like, can we please go back to good quality card stock? To me, quality card stock is not those decks that are unshuffable like the Modern Witch Tarot, but decks that are shuffable, but that are also going to endure high volume readers like myself that read professionally, or people that read for themselves and they read for themselves on a consistent basis. It's nice to have decks that actually last, and things of that nature. So, and decks that are not gonna, bleed ink into your hands and golden little chips. I mean, that's horrible. Okay, so that concludes the standout decks of 2022 and also concludes the least favorite decks that I bought. I also wanted to do a little shout out before we end this video.